The following podcast contains spoilers and adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
The Showdown Podcast presents The Survivor Series with Corey Miller, Vic Miller, and Brad Scott. Today's episode, Labyrinth. Welcome to the Showdown Podcast presents the Survivor Series. It's our special episodes where we don't do battle amongst each other. We do battle with a classic movie and we see if it holds up. And this week's episode is the 1986 David Bowie, basically David Bowie, Jim Henson movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Labyrinth. As always, I am joined in the kitchen by Corey Miller and Vic Miller. How are you doing, fellas?
Good.
I'm all right.
Always the pessimist.
Yes.
So let's get right to it. We just watched this movie together. Welcome back. I feel like we're finally whole again.
I know.
You know, we were.
What the hell was that?
That's my. We have the phone hooked up now. It's this 1-800 number. I'm pretty sure it's people wanting money. That's the third time they've called in a couple hours. So, I'm gonna do the thing. How do you do the thing where you don't let people bother you? Is that called do not disturb? All right. So anyway, we were like my beloved Miami Heat were in January. We were injury depleted and without Vic.
Yes.
Here in person, but now we're back as one, like Captain Planet.
One team, one dream.
That's right. Vic is here live with us. He's not on a computer,
Black man
echoing.
in the house.
And Corey, we all got to watch this movie. Why don't you give us the deets, douche?
Did you just call me a douche?
No, I called myself a douche
okay.
because I said deets.
Yeah, that is pretty douchey. In case you don't know, Labyrinth is about according to IMDb, a selfish 16-year-old girl is given 13 hours to solve a labyrinth and rescue her baby brother when her wish for him to be taken away is granted by the Goblin King, played by David Bowie, and his wiener.
Prominently displayed in every other shot he's in.
Yeah. I really... Yeah. Well...
That was for me because I screwed up. I thought it says headphones and the volume was up, and then as soon as the sound played, I was like, "Oh shit!" I should have just flipped it over and done. But all right.
Yeah. In case you can't tell, we do have new toys in the kitchen here, and Brad gets to play all the sound effects in stereo now.
He's talking about sound equipment, by the way.
Yes.
We got new toys that we're playing with in the kitchen.
So,
Brad's got his finger up Vic's ass. What?
easy now.
So okay, so
Was Vic
I did offer him my nuts, so it's all good.
so the movie starts off with Jennifer Connelly, addicted to heroin. No, wait, that's the wrong.
That, yeah.
No, that's not the right movie. we're on Labyrinth.
Jennifer Connelly plays a spoiled white rich girl
Yes.
with a lot of first world probs,
Definitely part of the 1%.
and she
She thinks everything is not going her way.
yeah, and she's kind of she's like the kid that hasn't grown up, right? That's how she's portrayed.
Well, I think she's supposed to be 15, 16-year-old, but I think that she's playing the part of the girl who is still the princess, wants to be the princess type of deal. Because she's got on the dress and she's doing Elizabethan stuff in the park with her dog and all that kind of stuff. So,
Because that's what normal 16-year-old girls do.
well, the ones that haven't been turned out, heroin and whatever.
Yeah, I really found her character annoying.
And she goes home, and her mother breaks the really
That's her stepmom.
Her stepmom, yeah.
Yeah.
She
Her
asked her to
wicked
watch
stepmom.
her baby brother for like 4 hours.
Right.
Which is funny if you think about it. She gets mad, but the stepmom says we'll be back at 12. So it's already like late. That kid's going to be going to bed. You really don't have to do anything, but she's going to sit there and cop an attitude.
Well, I mean,
about
they
it.
even say we fed him and put him to bed already. So
Yeah.
like, what do you need to do?
It's not fair.
not fair. It's not fair.
God damn it, you both. This was planned. This was fucking planned before the. Jesus.
You said make no. Your actual statement was make no address to it. Just do it with the British accent.
You draw attention to it when you do it 5 times in a row. The key was it would just be randomly. One of us would just give a that's not fair. And I started to try to talk because I fucking knew you guys couldn't handle it. And I was starting to go into something else because I was like, oh shit. I should have like reestablished right before we were. I couldn't have counted on you guys to remember something from 20 fucking minutes ago.
Actually, to be fair, it was like an hour and 40 minutes ago.
Still. It was gonna be a running gag through the whole episode, and we weren't gonna address it until the very end. And you fucking Jesus,
Double.
Fucking triple for you. How about that?
God, I shouldn't have plugged him in.
No. All right, thank you.
Crank it up. So. Anyways, that joke's gone.
She's decided that she doesn't like her brother because he's inconveniencing her from playing in the park, apparently.
Yeah, and she obviously never saw those commercials and videos about don't shake a baby.
Right.
Don't violently pull it out of the crib. You kind of felt bad for that baby actor because he spent the majority of the movie crying. So you have to imagine during filming, like they're like poking him with something sharp or like throwing like something in his eyes.
Well, can you imagine being a 2-year-old
Throwing
surrounded by all
sand.
those fucking like
Puppets?
goblin Muppets?
Yeah,
that would have freaked me out.
What, Corey? Give us an interesting fact. What does that baby do now?
Oh, the baby was played by Toby Freud, or Froud, or I guess that's how you say his name. Now, one interesting fact before I get to that is that he was named Toby because that was the only thing he would respond to.
Really? That was your interesting fact. That was your interesting fact. The fact that I wanted was interesting. What you just did, shocking. The toddler would only respond to the only name it's ever known. Like he wasn't working well with Maximilius, so they went with we'll just have to call him. That's fascinating. That's so Vic.
It's amazing because there's a couple different facts about this kid, like the fact that he's actually the primary designer's kid who was put in the movie.
That's an interesting fact, Corey.
That as a sideline gig, he became a puppeteer and a puppet maker. There's another interesting fact.
Oh, you know what? You know what that one gets? That's what we were looking for.
There you go.
The kid that was forced to be around creepy puppets ended up having a fetish for creepy puppets. That's the interesting fact.
The picture that I saw that he's with is with a really creepy fucking puppet, too. It's this like doughhead looking thing.
Probably looks like a mix of David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly and the Corey character from the movie. Was it Grizzled? Hogwald? Hogwart. So this kid's annoying. He's crying. He's planning, and that drives Jennifer Connelly to summon the Goblin King, played by pedophile David Bowie,
who's not only after a baby but a 15-year-old.
A 15-year-old, yeah. Well, if I can't have the baby, I guess I'll have his sister. But no, he comes in and he steals the baby. He stole that baby. He stole that baby.
The owl took my baby.
And he tells her. So this is kind of, I don't know. It's kind of strange from the get go because he's like, "I'm stealing your baby. Your wish cannot be undone." Oh, okay. I guess I'll give you. Oh, it's like a Bond villain. Yeah. Explaining his evil plot,
his evil plan, and then almost telling them how to get out of it.
And so, what happens next, Corey? They meet you.
Yes, they
she
meet me.
goes on a she has to go on a quest through a labyrinth, if you will.
Hence the name of the movie.
And she comes across Corey, who is his name is Hogwalt.
Hoggard.
Who?
Hoggard. It's just Hoggard.
Hoggard. Well, they confuse you because everybody keeps calling him the wrong name.
Something different.
That's actually not the fact that he was short and a little hairy. That's not what reminded me of Corey. It was the fact that just they kept shitting on him the whole movie.
Kind of like this show.
Stop.
And he was still like, "Oh, well, I just want friends."
Well, if we dangle something plastic in front of Corey, it makes him happy.
Plus, he seemed a little racist.
Well, yeah.
So,
He didn't like those pixies.
reluctant. Yeah, he really did. But that was surprising. They were white. But he ends up leading her into the labyrinth, and
Which, as we noticed, was a different beginning of the labyrinth than later on.
yeah, because later on that becomes a focal point. Is he's supposed to?
Return her.
He's supposed to be. I don't know if he was paid by David Bowie or if he was just told by David Bowie that he's got to lead her back to the beginning to throw her off. And
I think that was the whole point of like his little gold pouch was that David Bowie probably paid him.
gave him that.
Yeah, gave him that to sucker her into going back to the start.
And then they don't even go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Or they said it was the
They
beginning,
said
but
it's the beginning, but it wasn't the beginning at the beginning.
maybe you should have mentioned it's the West Wing of the beginning,
Right.
It's
the other side.
It's the other side, yeah.
Yeah.
It's where your parents are supposed to pick you up. That's the side that we're going back to.
the nice side of the park.
So she has. Oh, by the way, she doesn't just have to go through the labyrinth. Another twist, just to do it in 13 hours,
Right.
Which we thought was strange because it's like what did it used to be 24 hours and then somebody did it in 19,
Yeah,
so they were
it's like
like,
a
all
super
right,
number,
17 hours, and then
hours.
some Asian kid, does it in 14,
14 hours.
You have 13. Pretty soon, he's just gonna be like, fuck
you,
the
you
labyrinth.
don't get the kid.
Like we don't even use the labyrinth
He's
anymore.
mine.
Yeah, it's become a shithole now.
We're
And
not
they don't even
dusting
take
that
care of it
much
anymore. Ever since he stopped making people go through this maze, they don't take care of it anymore. They fucking living up there in their castle, forgetting about all of us down here, all of us Corys.
There's like 5 billion worms in there now because no one's ever taken care of that wall.
And so, what lead us through the first part of the journey, Corey?
Through the okay. Well, she keeps trying. She keeps walking down the same pathway and realizing she's not getting anywhere. And then a little worm helps her out. I liked the worm. They should have done the whole movie around the worm.
You probably said that a lot drinking tequila.
Yeah. No.
I like the worm.
I did like the effect that they used when he told her, just keep going that way, and because it makes it like an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
I liked
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
effect that they did, because even watching it today, you could kind of see as she walked by, you could see where it was, the wall was different, or where it was a separate wall.
Yeah.
So
the background and the foreground were matched perfectly,
Right.
So that you couldn't tell that there was a door there. And then when she walked between the two of them, you're like, oh shit, there is a door there.
Like I honestly was surprised, being that it was the 80s, there wasn't a character who was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, are you lost? Are you looking for the kitchen? You want to go make a sandwich?"
She should have been barefoot too.
That's fair.
And
That
then
is
it
fair.
was also kind of comical. The worm's like, no, don't go that way. Never go that
Oh,
way.
yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
the motherfucker's like, yeah, because if you go that way, you'll get straight to the castle.
I know, and I didn't understand that at first, and I'm like, oh yeah, because people that live there wouldn't want to go to the castle.
Nobody wants to go to that castle.
Right.
Because it was so scary.
So what did happen after
That's
that?
when she meets the dogs, right? That are the one lies and one tells the truth. Isn't that next?
What were those exactly? Were they dogs? I'm not.
They
thinking-
look like
I don't know
dogs.
what they were, but all I know is they were 69
Remember?
each other.
Yeah, the thing.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, what were they doing before you got there?
They were hiding behind the field, hiding the
Yeah,
bee
what were
behind
they-
the field.
What were they doing when she wasn't there?
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the point where they meet her, or she meets them, and they kind of reminded me of like if you're looking at a playing card, like the jacks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Where one is that the that's the one
That's the
where
one
one's lying and one's
one lies
not.
and one tells the truth.
And she spits some bullshit logic that you can't, like, you're like, well, that doesn't even make any sense.
Everybody in the room and everyone on set.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh, I figured it out. And then...
Yeah, and if she would have thought back to the very beginning of the conversation, the one guy said, he always lies, I don't. Well, if one of them lies and the other one doesn't, the way he said it...
No, didn't he say one of us always lies, one of us always tells the truth?
Yes.
And then he said that he always lies, so that meant that, I don't know, just the way it was phrased.
Well, the ridiculous part is she walks up to the one in the red shield and says, is he the liar? Tell me yes or no, is he the liar? And he says yes. And then she's like, okay, then I need to go through his door. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
I'm very confused. Like, that doesn't even make sense from the start.
And then she steps in, and she falls into the... they say they're helping hands.
Right.
But I have a feeling they've been up a skirt or two. Yeah. It wouldn't have been great if, like after they let her down or whatever, you would have just seen a couple of hands make a nose, and then another hand comes up with the two fingers.
That would have been hilarious.
So she falls into the sewer. Great crossover opportunity they missed out on to have the Ninja Turtles down there to lead her through the next portion.
That could have been one of the faces.
Oh yeah, there's some bullshit. What, 7? There's 7 of them faces.
Oh yeah. There was 7. Yeah, there's like 7 faces hidden throughout the movie. I noticed one. You guys caught one, but we didn't see their other one.
Well, the one we saw wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't hidden. It was just a statue of a half face.
And we saw 4 more that were like little dwarves on a plinth. So
yeah, I don't think those were part of it.
Where does she go through the tunnels? What happened after that?
Oh, that's
the
he's down there.
Yeah,
he magically just appears down there.
Well, he knows the way through the whole point is that he knows the way through the labyrinth.
Yeah, I bought into that. I mean, that shouldn't be what stumped you after everything we've seen.
No, that didn't. So he helps her out.
Yeah, it's called the oubliette. That's what it was.
Yeah,
she lands in the oubliette.
And so they're going. I guess it's underneath.
And he calls out Corey.
He calls out me.
Corey, yeah, he calls you out and is like, "You're helping her."
Oh, yeah, the guy.
You're supposed to take her back to the beginning.
Yeah, David Bowie shows up, and he lies to him and says, "I was taking her back to the beginning." Oh, you didn't say. How do I know you're telling the truth? You weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah, I'm like, he obviously isn't telling the truth because where you motherfuckers end up is not the beginning,
right?
Yeah.
But she's all mad about it, and
she's just a whiny
cunt.
Thank you. Through this entire movie, I couldn't stand her, and that just goes right along with it.
And yeah, so then she gets up and she heads off, and then is this where she meets?
He runs off because he hears Ludo, whatever.
Ludo sad.
Hears him.
Oh yeah, bellowing out. The Vic of the movie. Yeah, that was our Vic.
Yeah, that's Vic. So he takes off, and she helps him down because he's caught in a trap, and scares off a couple of the 4 soldiers or whatever. And so he starts to help her out for a little bit until he falls down a pit, and then is gone for a while. I think that had more to do with the suit than anything. It's like I think that was like a 75-pound suit.
Really?
Yeah. So they originally was a 100-pound suit. And they're like, no, it's too heavy. So I think they were trying to keep it off screen as much as possible, just because of that, to help out on the actors in the suit.
I figure there's an actor and an operator for each suit for that suit.
In that one, there was 2 operators, but not I don't think they were at the same time. I think they were just one person at a time to take turns.
And then after Vic falls down the thing. She encounters
they freed her from the creepy little goblins. She freed him from the creepy little goblins that were using these hideous
aborted
fetus on sticks to bite him.
On a stick.
It's a baby on a stick.
Like, yeah, it's like, hey, don't worry. Like this, if they bite you, you're just getting stem cells. You'll be fine.
They'll heal up nice.
Yeah. But then she gets away when he falls down. She encounters the crazy, like I guess the me of the movie, the guys
so.
that like kick the head around and have the
kind of
trippy dancing,
kind of freaky ass.
Yeah, that was a pretty fucked up scene.
That's probably the me of the movie, though, wasn't it?
I would say so.
I could.
12-year-old me watching that. Like, I was 12 when I saw this movie. Like 12-year-old me watching this movie was like, "Oh, this is pretty funny."
Not me. I think I was creeped out by that.
42-year-old me is going, "This shit's just."
That was definitely a creepy scene.
They were high on something at that.
Well, you notice that they had a Jamaican accent. So you know what they were.
Yeah, Vic was like, "These are the black guys of the movie."
And since Brad's the honorary black guy,
that's true.
There was way too much green screen in that scene too. That was just it was
horribly.
And she was glowing.
Yeah, like you could see, like they didn't even like try to blend it out. Like there was just this very hard white outline of her entire body in that background. It was crazy bad.
Yeah, it was so bad. I mean, I'm sure there had to have been some other movies at that time that looked even better using green screen, and they couldn't figure that out.
Never Ending Story.
Did that come out the same year, or is it around the same
close?
Same,
Masters of the Universe probably looked
Yeah.
better than that.
Masters of the Universe had some bad cutout spots too.
It is in the Hall of Fame. I will not have either of you speak ill will.
Besmirch that movie.
I believe the only losing film in the Hall of Fame because it had that much of an impact.
Maybe so. I wanted to.
It's never far away.
Yeah.
I've come to accept the fact that key is always going to be around.
So after, they.
Was it gonna
20
play the
seconds
rest of the
is a
episode?
long time. I was like, oh, it's 20 seconds. I'll just let it play. So then after she gets away from the Mees, they fall into like the most vile, disgusting, awful place in the world,
White
Corey's
River?
stomach.
No.
God damn it, Corey. God damn it. I was setting, it was obvious what I was setting up. We talked about this during the movie, how that Vic had that.
Yeah, but nobody.
No, we've mentioned
talked
your
about how
gassiness
disgusting
and
you
your-
are.
Yeah,
We
about
people
this
are,
on-
and even then, I think they could use context. I'm sure I'm sure you're like that. That's a constant running gag.
I don't do that on the air.
It's the Flanders of our show.
You don't do it on the air because you cut it out.
Yeah.
You definitely do it on the air.
So, anyways, it's the bog of eternal stench, and it's just some place that smells like shit. And if you get any on you, you smell like shit for the rest of your life. Which, to me, honestly, like if you're the Hogwarts, like, is that really going to inconvenience you that much?
You run around in a labyrinth
Yeah.
all day and all night long with no one to talk to.
Well, not to mention, you look like you smell like shit to begin with. You know? It'd almost be weirder if you smelled like soap and bubbles, because it's like, where's this coming from? And they get out of there where they come across my favorite person in the movie, Sir Didymus. I don't think that's how you say it, but I'm going with Diddy. The little pirate night dog
fox thing.
Fox, he was funny as hell. Just because he kept like, and he comes out riding her dog, and she doesn't make any mention of it. Like,
that looks a lot like my dog.
yeah.
Nothing. And did you notice that dog actually had horse sound effects? Whenever it would make a noise, it would make a horse noise because the rider was making the dog noises. He was barking, the dog was making horse noises. It was cracking me up.
I didn't notice that.
And and it went from a puppet to a real dog. Like, it kept going back and forth. But it was always the most obvious because like its paws would like come up like hands.
Yeah, and whenever its whole body was hiding behind something, and when you could only see its head, it would be a puppet. It was so blatantly obvious too. But I mean, you got to expect that when you're talking about the director is Jim Henson. You're going to have just nonstop everything he could possibly put in it was going to be puppeteered if he could. So
Yeah.
originally, even the Goblin King originally was supposed to be a puppet. He wasn't supposed to be a live person. That was originally written for a puppet.
Yeah, I can't say that it probably would have made the movie better.
You don't think David Bowie did a good job?
He did all right, I guess,
piece?
but
which I think should have gotten separate billing from him. Because they kept doing these very awkward shots of Hoggard from an up shot with his crotch in the scene.
Right in the center of the screen.
Makes no good sense. The guy was really proud of that codpiece.
What? Why are you playing Under Pressure?
It's a David Bowie song.
Right.
You know that, right?
Yes. That's why I said Under Pressure. I didn't say Ice Ice Baby.
Well, thank God you didn't say Ice Ice Baby. You would have been getting the sound effect.
I know.
But okay. That Goblin King was David Bowie.
Was it really?
I'm just wondering where you're not getting the connection.
Oh, I see the connection.
Then why did you ask? Why am I playing it?
Because it doesn't have anything to do with the movie.
Well, no, but there's no.
We're talking about David Bowie. It's David
If you're
Bowie.
talking about Under Pressure is a good enough song, just the mention of Bowie, Pressure, or Under, and it's fair game to play.
And the look on Hoggard's face
And
was he was under some pressure.
And I tell you what, Bowie, even if you're talking about like a buoy at sea, is close enough to Bowie that you can get away with it there too.
If I bring out a really big knife, that song's going to come out.
Yeah. So, anyways, then after, oh man, this movie was long.
Yeah.
This was, remember at one point we're like, it's been 40 minutes. Well, how much longer? It's like an hour and 40 minutes total. It's like, fuck, another hour.
I was really thinking he was going to say, like, oh, there's like 30 more minutes or something.
But I tell you what, though, it does a good job of really helping you relate to Jennifer Connelly's character. Because you're like, man, I want to figure out a way to get the fuck out of this movie,
Right.
too. Like, where's the door that allows Corey found one to go order a pizza, and Vic found one to fire someone at his job, and I'm like, fuck, I don't have anybody that
stuck
needs
here by
me.
myself.
I don't have anybody that cares enough about me. Damn it, get me out of this.
You were feeling the pressure.
Oh,
Huh?
I was. You know what, Vic? Yeah, I was under pressure. See, Corey? That's how it's done.
Now that works.
Speaking of influences, so originally Michael Jackson was supposed to. They had Michael Jackson in mind to play this. So what song do you think they would have used for instead of the Bowie song Under Pressure?
Just Thriller or Billie Jean. Just through the whole movie. That's just that song playing
Nonstop. But Sarah would have had to have been a little boy though.
Oh.
Too soon?
Oh.
Not too soon.
What's it gonna be?
I think I think the time frame is done. You're okay.
Yes. Pull the coin, motherfucker.
Now it was close. It was close. It wasn't quite Corey, but it was almost a Mario death. So
This is the point I went to order the pizza, so I don't remember what.
Yeah, well, I mean, you didn't miss a whole lot.
I don't think so.
That's when they next, I believe, is when they because they befriend the little fox on the dog, Diddy.
Start heading for the main.
And
gate.
they fall into the junkyard.
Oh right. Oh,
And
that's right.
she-
He gives her the peach.
Yeah.
She eats the peach and she gets roofied.
Yeah, he gave her the peach, and then he's like, "Oh, I did what I had to do." And then I don't know if you noticed this, but you heard, "Well, thank you very much.
I did.
Let's eat the peach."
I did hear the Bill Cosby impersonation, but I didn't know what was going on.
Because she got roofied, and she ends up in the junkyard with.
You needed to explain it was a Bill Cosby impression. Was the impression that bad?
No, I'm just saying. I was telling you. I heard that.
So she ends up in that junkyard, and she's with the hoarder, what we would call a hoarder.
Yeah.
And that little hoarder puppet was like, "Hey,
She
come with
looked
me."
like a hoarder too.
Yeah,
for
like,
real. Like she
seriously seeing that as a hoarder.
and the hoarder lady basically starts giving her all her own shit.
Yeah. She's like, "Isn't this nice? How about this?" And what was she using to stick that to her back?
Oh.
Good question.
Semen. And they so she
Straight from Bowie's codpiece.
yeah, she starts remembering why she's there because she had forgotten, right? She got
Right.
the teddy bear and she's like, "Oh, well, this is what I was here for." It's like, "Really, bitch? Like, we're this close to the end of the movie. Let's get through this shit. Come on."
We stuck this out. Your ass better get. to the
Yeah,
end.
I was cheering for it. So then, and by the way, this is another thing I thought was weird because after this, they get into the city, right?
Mhm.
And they go tell David Bowie, who's just, sitting there playing with the kid. And like, well, they're really close now. Why? I thought he was watching them.
Yeah, he's been watching the whole time. Like, he knows everything they're doing except when they get to the gates of the fucking city. And he's like, oh, really? He's distracted with that kid.
Yeah, they only got 35 minutes left. I guess I could stop paying attention now after watching for 12 hours and 25 minutes.
Because that obscure moment when he was thinking about throwing that peach into the fart swamp, he's like, hey, don't do that.
And then he does the part where he was like, remember that part where he's dancing around, he's throwing the baby? Just throwing the baby around in the air? This is weird.
The baby / doll.
And so when so David Bowie gets mad and sends like the whole army after him, and and Vic was able to summon rocks, so he summoned rocks, and the rocks took all of them out, the little army.
It was hilarious because I guess I'd never noticed at that point, but all of the guys on the little riding raptor things were wearing those costumes where their legs are the legs of the dinosaur they were riding, and their bodies are the top, and then they have the fake legs hanging off of it, like the Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
Like so blatantly obvious that it was there. I was just.
There was a lot of different things. There was apparently there's like a boom mic pretty clearly visible during the swamp of Corey's stomach. There was several times where you could see wires, like when the baby's on the steps and he sends up the crystal ball. You can see like the wires holding the baby so he doesn't fall forward. And like clip to the back, like you see his shirt being tucked.
That's one of the things I was laughing at the beginning when they first show him in the city they're singing the voodoo song. They show this chicken thing fly across the screen. They have a bunch of real chickens in the scene. Like someone could have just picked it up and thrown it. Instead, they used a puppeteered chicken on a string, and you could see the string like flying this little puppet chicken across.
Well, did you notice when the big mechanical guy attacks them from the city?
Yeah, on the door.
Well, did you notice when they were like leaning back in the spikes? The spikes were bending.
Oh,
no, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, she did fall backwards onto the.
It was like 4 times, and they were bent.
She would press against the axe at them, and they kept like doing the matrix lean into the spikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets increasingly more ridiculous, and then she ends up finally getting into the castle, and there's like an entire like 10 minutes of an MC Usher painting that they have to run through.
Yeah,
the freaking staircase thing. I'm like, it's so tedious.
And then apparently the way to end this whole thing was all she had to say was, "You have no power over me,"
right?
And everything gets worked out.
She just wanted to remember that she had the ability to say no. No means no, creepy Bowie guy.
Yeah, when that happened, I just, and I told you guys this, and I was just like, so the whole time, this whole thing could have, I didn't understand the point of the movie until that, and it's like, really, the whole point was just so when you get older, just make sure you've got imagination. It's all about imagination.
I think it's more like I think that's true, but also like remember that you always have friends to back you up, kind of situation too. Because at the end, the friends all come out of the mirror and start partying with her and stuff back into the real world. So obviously, these things can get into the real world pretty easy.
Oh yeah, and I guess I forgot Bowie was the owl.
Right.
I didn't even know that while we were watching it.
Yeah.
You didn't realize that?
That's what, at the beginning I was like, Hedwig, stop. Harry Potter's owl was attacking her.
Owl.
But it made sense once, because he had that white, like, feathery shawl thing on. And I was like, what the fuck is he wearing? Until Corey's like, yeah, he was an owl. I'm like, okay, I can let it go then.
I just don't get how it's like, oh, she's grown up now. She doesn't need, she's saying goodbye to these characters, and then 2 seconds later she's like, nah, fuck it, y'all. Yeah, I'll just be a crazy cat lady for the rest of my life,
It's all good. And I love my brother suddenly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a little too much.
Yeah, I can't even talk about it.
So
yeah, go ahead, hit it. I know what you're going for. There you go.
So thanks for that substance there at the end, Corey. Way to hammer home the synopsis there.
So we get to the end of the movie, and basically she gets her brother back. Everything is fine. There's peace in Whoville, and the movie ends.
And we cheered.
underwhelmed when it's all said and done. But so one of the other things, Jennifer Connelly is the one who won the role. Can you guess some of the other people who actually went for this role?
Ooh,
If I read IMDb,
86? Man.
I read IMDb earlier, so
All right, but do you remember it? Because you read IMDb earlier too for the whole Toby fact.
And we went over a running gag for the entire show that you proceeded to fuck up. I don't even remember. I don't even know who would have been like at age appropriate at the time.
So Yasmin Bleeth,
Oh, okay, from Baywatch.
yeah, she tried for it. Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh,
that would have been more annoying.
they would
Starring a horse.
they would have been right. God damn it! Yeah, I was gonna go with they would have been riding her to the castle, which was a better joke. But Corey decided to cut me off there, and
So Mary Stuart Mastrantonio.
don't know who that is.
Laura
Sounds
Dern,
like she's in a lot of Lifetime movies.
probably
Wait, Laura Dern,
No.
is that from that '70s show?
Laura Dern.
No. Laura Dern. No, she wasn't on that. What was...
I thought she. Oh no.
She was on Jurassic Park.
Oh, okay. She was Dr. Grant's bitch.
Yep.
Laura San Giacomo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who
She
that
is
is.
from.
Did you see that TV show with David Spade?
Just Shoot Me?
Yeah, she was on that.
I couldn't see that. Ali Sheedy.
No clue.
Yeah,
From
Breakfast Club.
You guys got to remember, I'm nowhere near as old as you. Breakfast Club, I was probably 7 when that came out. I'm surprised Stacey Dash wasn't in the running
She probably was.
with Paul Rudd as the Goblin King.
Nice.
Except for I don't think your Goblin King can be 5'5".
Well, so instead of Paul Rudd for the Goblin King, who would it be?
Oh, we can't do that yet. We always recast after the commercials, Vic. You know that.
Well, think about it.
Well, anyway, Helena Bonham Carter was another one.
That went out for
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Connelly. Oh, from the whatever that movie was.
Harry Potter's.
No, Alice in Wonderland.
She was in that too, yeah.
And she was the queen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this film was made in both New York and England. I'm trying to figure out why they needed to do it in both places. I can understand.
Maybe there was a
England.
studio that was bigger for certain
No,
scenes.
Jim Henson. So it would have been easier to do it in Jim Henson's studio because all of his stuff was there. But I know why they did it in England because they needed all of the historical kind of like castle
Countryside.
Yeah. So I get that part, but they literally only filmed the very beginning of the movie in New York and then flew to England.
Really?
Like there's no houses and parks in England that you could have just done it all there. Like why did you need to do it specifically in this little neighborhood in New York?
Yeah, but I think England, even like residential areas, they have a distinct look, and you don't see anything like that in America.
And New York City is where they filmed that at is very old New York, which is pretty much the same architecture.
Or why couldn't they have just made the movie take place in England instead of New York?
Right.
Because, I mean, it wasn't like New York played a role.
Yeah, it wasn't like the city.
You could have said that shit was Indianapolis. And honestly, had more characters died, it could have been, but... See what I did there, Corey?
Mm-hmm. So, another interesting fact. George Lucas was the executive producer for this movie, which isn't real surprising. He was also one of the second editors for it. But he actually had Darth Vader come to the set of the movie and deliver a good luck message to the director.
Really?
For some reason.
That sounds
Like,
so
you
stupid and
put-
pointless.
Huh?
That sounds so pointless.
Well, it's George Lucas flexing his Star Wars muscle, that's all.
So
Like, I'm
dumb.
going to put this guy in the Darth Vader costume and bring him to the set to show off that I'm George Lucas.
It's probably his nephew.
I want you to tell him good luck. Good luck. Okay, thanks.
So some other oddities for this movie. One of the weirdest things is he kept like kind of juggling those glass balls constantly for whatever reason that were supposed to be bubbles, I guess, at some point. But there was a scene where we're watching it and you could literally see that Bowie had his arm behind his back and the other guy that's actually doing the juggling has his arm through that hole.
Yeah, you can see like half his body sticking out.
It was hilarious because he had this weird like lump of a shoulder off of his arm, and it was like stuck through the hole, and he was like juggling the balls and shit. It was hilarious.
This says a 66% on Rotten Tomatoes. That still seems high to me.
Very.
I think so, but it became a cult classic. It was a failure, a flop in the theaters, and actually,
Gene Siskel's review of Labyrinth, he referred to it as an awful film with a pathetic story, much too complicated plot, and visually ugly style.
Wow.
I agree.
Did you agree? The question is, did you agree when you were younger?
Actually, to tell you the truth, I didn't watch this when I was younger. It wasn't
Because when it came out, he was 40.
Right.
Exactly.
I forgot.
Yeah.
He was ancient already.
What did we say the year this came out?
86.
86. So
I was 12.
I was 10. So technically, yeah, I would have been all right, but it's still maybe a little old for me. But I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it till later.
It was like a $25 million budget. It only made $12.7 million in the box office. They didn't even make back.
I'll say this: I was a kid when it came out, kid, and I owned Neverending Story. I didn't get a tattoo of it, but I owned it, and I never owned Labyrinth.
Well, unfortunately, your tattoo for this would have been a cod piece, so that would have been kind of weird.
Right,
that's the only
shoulder.
real symbol that made any sense on there.
All right, well, let's hear some commercials, and we'll come back with our recasting of the movie, and we'll talk about some of the other things pertaining to it. And so enjoy these fine advertisements for this award winning podcast. It's commercial time. Corey, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find
Nope. Vic, where can the people find you?
You can find me online at MillerKing51 on social media, as well as Black and Angry. That's BLAQ and Angry on Xbox One.
Corey, go ahead.
You can find me.
Actually, you can find me at Indie Brad Scott on Twitter and Instagram, and BradScottComedy.com. Corey.
All right.
The Showdown Podcast is on Twitter at The Showdown Pod, and The Showdown Podcast on Facebook. Give us a like. Somebody should. All right, Corey, go ahead.
Are you sure? Okay. You can find me on Twitter at NKOGonzo.
All right, let's get back to that hot Survivor Series action. Welcome back to the show. We are talking about Labyrinth. It's our Survivor Series episode. And what do you think? Should before we do do you want to do before the recast or after the recast? Do you want to do our did it survive or not? I want to give our verdicts.
Let's do the recast first.
All right. So, starting with the recast, I think the obvious place to start is your Goblin King. Vic, who is your Goblin King?
My Goblin King is Wayne Brady.
What, are you being sincere?
I'm being serious. He can act, he can dance, and he can sing. I mean, he has Bowie beat on a couple things, so. Why can't Wayne? Why?
He's not creepy enough, man. Bowie had kind of a creepiness to him.
You put anybody in a scene with a 15-year-old girl and a baby is going to be creepy.
Plus, I don't know if because of the wardrobe, if you could really use any black actors for this part.
They wouldn't need the codpiece necessarily.
So Wayne Brett, who's your Goblin King?
Well, my initial pick until
Because this looks like someone you could worship, like as because you're a goblin.
Yeah.
None of us are immune.
Yep. Initially, I was going to say Ricky Gervais, but then you said creepy, so I'm going to say Steve Buscemi.
I don't know if he has the singing chops.
I'll figure it out. You lip sync it.
Steve Buscemi. I mean, he's creepy. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people.
I think I got you both beat. I do. I got Russell Brand. I feel like he's flamboyant enough to kind of pull that off.
He
and
can sing.
I bet he already has the clothes.
He might actually
He's
have
already
the
got the
clothes.
wardrobe and the copies.
I would think too much of him being Aldous Snow then, or whatever his name was from.
Yeah, that's the other thing. He can kind of sing too.
Get him from the Greek.
Get him to the Greek. Yeah. Well, then who is? What about Sarah, Jennifer Connelly?
How about? I don't remember what her name is. The girl from True Grit, the True Grit remake, and she was in Pitch Perfect too. I don't remember her name.
Kendrick.
No, not her. Hold on. I'll find it. You guys.
I think she would have been a good one though.
Who, Anna Kendrick?
Yeah. She's annoying enough. Is that what you need? Because like my first instinct was like, well, Jennifer Lawrence, because you just put her in everything, right? But then I was like, well, she's not that annoying, except for when she's bitching about, equal pay for women. When maybe we should start with equal pay for race. But like aside from that, like she's not annoying, so I don't think she could pull it off.
Haley Steinfeld is who I was trying to think of.
Okay, I don't know who.
I
that
knew
is.
you were going to say that.
What about that? I think we just used her for another thing. That girl from The Fifth Element. And
Mila Jovovich?
No, The Fifth Element's that new one that came, or The Fifth Wave.
Hit Girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chloe Moretz or whatever her name is?
Yeah. Could
I
she
don't
be
see
this?
her as being whiny, though.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but she's definitely fake tough guy.
Yeah.
I don't buy her as a badass. And I was gonna go see that Fifth Wave, but I've just seen so much bad stuff about it.
Yeah, I heard a review this week that it wasn't any good.
It's that scene to me, like, because I like a lot of the preview. I like the scene where the plane crashes. That's kind of cool looking, and when like it shows like the disease thing that looks interesting, but then like the scene where she's training and grabbing the gun out of the dude. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
How about Miley Cyrus?
Ooh, as Jennifer Connelly?
Mm-hmm.
That's legit. Jared Leto as the Goblin King.
I thought you were going to say Jennifer Connelly's character.
That would work. If you could put on that, that would probably work.
Yeah,
I don't know. Does he sing?
Yeah, he's in a band.
Is he?
30 Seconds to Mars.
I don't know.
Very good band, actually.
So what about is there anybody we could use as the big monster? Like, is there anybody? Like, because I was thinking like Seth Rogen for Ludo.
Steven Seagal.
And not,
He's the right size.
We're friends.
Steven said.
You have the right to remain silent.
Ludo said.
That's
I was in under siege.
Well, would Seth Rogen be in a costume, or would it just be him?
They would just put merkins all over his body.
He just wouldn't shave his back for a month.
Just put merkins all over his body and make him walk around like that.
And the little Diddy
Yeah.
character, Seth Green.
How about
I
Andy
want
Dick?
to fight you.
How about Andy Dick for that?
Oh
Drive
no,
you
I
nuts.
don't. Yeah, I don't like. I'm not a huge fan. And then I think we give this guy his shot for
You let me be Hogwarts.
Hogwarts.
just let him play himself.
I want to play the hands. Which one? All of them.
Right. I'm just gonna keep putting my hands down until I get in the right spot.
I just want to grab her. Come here, Miley. I'm helping hands. Now, Miley would be into that, though.
Yeah, I was
Right.
going to say Miley wouldn't care. She would just
Yeah, that'd be the
start
problem with
stripping.
Miley. Miley couldn't be that character because they'd never make it past that scene.
All right. So
Hey, are you supposed to go look for your brother? Nah, I'm good.
No,
I'm just
no,
going to
stay
stay
right
here.
She just starts.
I'm just going to stay here in the helping hand. Maybe there's a new character we have for the show. Maybe Miley Cyrus going to be on the show from time to time. Hey, y'all, I want these helping hands to come up my vagina. I said a helping hand. I only need the fingers.
All right, so I have another really.
What am I going to do with palms? All right, I'll see if it'll fit.
Make a fist. I like wrecking balls. So I have another annoying one for Sarah. How about Kristen Stewart?
Yeah.
She's so freaking whiny. I can't.
She's very whiny.
She's in.
Yeah,
But is she more? She's more depressed, whiny though.
Yeah,
she's more emo. Like, I'm just in love with a vampire.
it's not fair.
Why is my brother not a vampire? Goblin King. I wanted to talk to Count Dracula.
Goblin King, do you sparkle in the sunlight?
That's the worst thing ever, by the way.
You know the whole. Go ahead.
No, so go ahead.
Like the idea behind this, when you said it, like when you first had the idea to do this, it was kind of like, David Bowie just passed away, so we were like, okay, let's do something. Let's do Labyrinth. And I think in all honesty, we all had the idea like, that's actually a good idea to do this.
Yeah,
and then
really,
it's one of his most known roles.
Literally turned into like, I'm sorry, David Bowie, we did this to you. I
should have gone first, though. My thing was about Twilight. Just how I watched like the first. I remember after the second or third one came out, I finally like saw for free on demand the first one, so I started watching it, and they were losing me from the get go, but I turned it off after the baseball scene.
Oh, yeah. When they were all playing vampires.
Yeah, really, just
that's
just
what you
douche.
like to do?
I don't want douchebag vampires. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I actually
Team Jacob. I don't even know what that means, but my daughter was obsessed with it, so she loves those movies. Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, I had to sit through all of them too.
It was a nonstop.
Oh, I wouldn't watch them with her. I'm like, no, you can, that when her mom was around, like, you can go with your mom and watch those.
Like send her the whole set over.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep them there. I don't need them back.
I'll buy them. I just don't want to watch them.
I'll get you the T-shirt, but I ain't watching it.
Do we have any other whiny Sarahs? Or any other Goblin King candidates?
None that I can think of off the top of my head right now.
Goblin King. How about I don't know if he's really that creepy.
Do they have to sing? Do they have to be a singer?
The dad from what's his name? I think I'm from Californication.
David Duchovny.
David Duchovny? You could have gone with Guy from the X-Files.
Yeah, I couldn't. It wouldn't come to my head. Like I had it there, but I couldn't get it to come out. And then like that, or the dad from Full House. He can be
Bob
creepy.
Saget.
Bob Saget?
He can be creepy.
He's not, but the Goblin King's also supposed to be kind of cool. And in the 80s, that was cool. Like what David Bowie was cool. Bob Saget would be like, I could see him if like maybe the Goblin King does a lot of physical comedy where he's stumbling down that stair room all over the place, you know. And then,
okay, what about John Stamos with the old school Full House
too short.
hair?
He can't be shorter than Sarah.
Oh,
He's got to be kind of intimidating over a 15-year-old girl.
Well,
plus, I don't think she's supposed to want to bang the Goblin King.
well,
and I think every woman wants to bang John Stamos.
At one point, David Bowie did have heels on, so John Stamos could always wear heels.
But because he just looks short.
Well, he might.
Bowie can look long. Stamos just looks short.
I think the only reason he looked long was because his waistline was at his nipples. So
yeah,
Stamos looks like you just put him in your pocket.
And remember, you put that big hair, that big Uncle Jesse hair on him.
No, that's true. Maybe you know what? Maybe Stamos could. I'm forgetting about young Uncle Jesse.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, the big ass mullet.
Is there anybody else to recast? Does anybody have any good nominees? Or do you want to go to results?
What if you had Paul Giamatti as her dad?
Her dad, you only see him for like 2 minutes.
I know.
What
But
about David Hasselhoff?
For the Goblin King?
He's tall and imposing, can sing. Apparently, he's got a career, and he can be fucking creepier than anybody.
That's
when he's
true.
A chick.
That's true.
You find him in one scene
laying
on the ground with the burger from Wendy's.
Or where she was putting the lipstick on the ground. You lift one of those rocks up. He's just laying under there, looking up at her. It's creepy as hell. He can be a real perv.
So does Yeah, is that are we good on the
I
casting?
think that's the only. That's all I got for.
I mean, the problem is, I mean, like
there's really only like 4 characters.
Yeah.
in this
the
whole
junk
movie.
lady could be that lady Corey for some reason had a weird crush on, who we've talked
Which
about in
one?
a couple episodes.
Oh, you talking about Amy Schumer?
No, when you were a kid or when you were younger,
Oh,
the blonde. She's been in a
from
bunch of.
Scrooged. Fuck, I forgot her name.
Oh yeah. From Princess Bride, the wife.
Oh yeah. I don't know. She has a weird way of talking. I
She's
can't
the
do
mother
it.
in
She was on an
Gotham
episode of
right now.
Seinfeld.
What is her
the
name?
other
I
day.
cannot think of it.
Yeah, I've put me on the spot. I'm blanking right now.
I figured you were gonna. That's why I brought it up. Is because I was like, "Oh, he's gonna know," because he talked about how he had this huge
Tried to
crush
feed it
on
to
her.
him.
Carol Kane.
What is it?
Carol
Okay.
Kane.
Yeah, she could be the junk lady.
Was that a real person though? I wasn't.
Well, no,
here
it was not 90% of the
Do you
people
think-
that were
Do you think Ludo was a real person
I didn't
that we
see the
cast Seth
scene.
Rogen as?
I didn't see the scene, so I was
Well,
asking.
either way.
Oh, okay.
Either
Thank
way.
you.
Oh, that that was something else that I just saw.
Yeah. Wait. What would it have mattered if it would have been a real
I
person?
was just curious.
Oh, okay.
That's something else I just saw. The one of the funny points about this movie is that the Hoggard guy. You know what happened to him? They were shipping him back and they lost him. They lost the full outfit, the puppet of it.
Mm-hmm.
They lost it in transit back, and they never found it. It was ended up in the airport in Alabama in the lost and found.
Oh God, it got fucked.
For so long,
Literally.
that
Somebody fucked it.
yeah. All of a sudden, it became unclaimed baggage. So it's on display in the airport in Alabama, and they won't give it back.
Full of semen.
More than likely, every hole.
I thought it said it was in a museum. It's
No,
actually
it's
at
in
the
an
airport.
It's,
Hey,
it's
what-
in the airport. It's in the airport's Museum of Lost Items.
What y'all doing? What y'all doing this weekend? I'm gonna go fuck that little troll thing down at the airport.
Did you see that? Like, did you see that little troll thing they found in that box?
I'm gonna fuck it.
Did anybody fuck it yet? Sorry, Alabama.
Sorry, not sorry.
I'm sorry you have that reputation that we can make that joke.
Do we have any other recast?
Yeah, I think
I
that's
don't think
it for
so.
me.
So let's get to, and I don't know if we've made it
Really clear?
quite as clear as possible, but let's get to the verdict. Finally, we figured out that this was probably done at the end. Thank you, Vic, for not fucking it up this episode. So Vic, give
for
us
bringing it up.
your verdict. Is it a survivor?
No, most definitely not.
And Corey?
No, and I don't understand why people have such a love for this movie.
Nos-
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
I think Jim Henson and his crew did a great job with the puppets, animatronics, and everything else. Overall, this movie's a piece of shit.
Okay, well, easy.
Put their heart and soul into this thing, dude.
Yeah, and not to mention, what's your Labyrinth?
Okay.
It's not a piece of shit.
Okay.
But no, it doesn't hold up. I mean,
No,
because you
it
remember for
doesn't.
the 80s, that was
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, and there's just
I mean, it's a cult movie for a reason.
there's just too much stuff for it to be considered a movie that holds up.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't care for it. But again, I also didn't like it as much as a kid. I think it's one of those movies, like Never Ending Story. Some people just don't care for it.
Some people get tattoos.
Tattoos,
of it.
yeah, absolutely. So that was today's episode.
Survivor Series.
We thank you for joining us and listening. Yes, once again, please stay tuned for another. Stay tuned. Please keep tuned. No. Keep your eyes open for a new Showdown episode. And
Next week, new battle.
Our next Survivor Series episode will be Rambo.
Yes. Rest in peace, David Bowie.
What's that?
I said rest in peace, David Bowie. You can't hear me. Never mind.
He's feeling the pressure.
I'm feeling the pressure.
Apparently so.
So from all of us here, from Corey Miller, from Vic Miller, I am Brad Scott, and we will talk to you next time. douchiest way we've ever ended an episode with what I just said.
What's
Fucking
hilarious is
awful.
at the end of it, everyone's like, what are they whispering about it?
Did it!